But it was the tragic loss of this one thing that truly hit the creator community the hardest. Something whose train unfortunately left the station with one ill-advised 10-minute long video. I'm sorry.
COLLEEN is done. She is so unbelievably done. Have you guys seen? You probably have. I'm a little bit late to this, but I thought, do you know what? There might be a very small percentage of people who don't know about this or who want to hear someone else's thoughts and feelings on it. So here I am to answer whatever. It was the Streamys. It was the 2023 annual Streamys Award, which, if you don't know, it's basically an award show for, YouTubers, just online content creators. Honor people who, do online content creation, make TikToks, do YouTube videos, etc., etc. And pretty ironically, according to HuffPost, in past years, Ballinger has been honoured at the Streamys, being nominated several times for her YouTube work and even winning once for her character as Miranda Sings. Now, in this year's Streamy Awards, they actually the presenter opened up by throwing major shade at COLLEEN Ballinger. And I just think that if the Streamys, if pretty much what you do for a living, like the people that you surround yourself with are laughing at you and taking the mickey out of your little ukulele response, I think you're done. Not only are you done like public perception, but honestly, the very minute that an award show centered around what you do for a living turns around and goes, I think you're pretty done. So the opening of this clip was the two presenters coming out, and there's this woman on a ukulele, and they're both basically like recapping some of the things that have kind of gone on the online space, such as Twitter. There was a thing about Twitter going on, the kind of tanking of Twitter, which is not what this video is about. And then they go on to discussing COLLEEN Ballinger. Now, obviously, the ukulele is present in all of this, so you're already getting like a sixth sense over what this is going to be about.
Maybe it's not safe to say that no one platform blew it harder, because after all, it's only August, and it is a long year ahead of us. But it was the tragic loss of this one thing that truly hit the creator community the hardest. Something whose train unfortunately left the station with one ill-advised 10-minute long video. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Looks like someone knows how to apologize.
Right, not to be like, being a bit controversial here, but just for me and my little ears, it does kind of seem like at first the crowd was pretty split about that. And I'm not surprised that some of the people at the Streamys would be a bit like, ooh, are we really going there right now? But it's the fact that these guys are literally opening up with this and mocking COLLEEN for this. Her own, her peers, people, I'm not saying they're like besties or anything, but I'm saying they're people that you work alongside, people that are doing the same kind of things as you, the content creators. Your own award show. Do you know what I mean? It would be like you were a movie star going to the Grammys, and then the Grammys then started laughing at you. Like, I'm not even quite sure how she's ever going to come back for this. People, I've already touched about this before, but public perception really isn't great. You still have some diehard supporters, but as a whole, public perception ain't great. Even these guys are saying, nah, what he did was bad. And the fact that she still is not addressing it is laughable. Okay, so this kind of ties into another talking point that I want to do, which is just based off of the Ballinger family vlogs. So, you have her brother, you have Chris, and then you have, I suppose, it's COLLEEN's sister-in-law. I'm not 100% familiar with every single family member. I know she's got a sister called Rachel, brother called Trent, and then another brother called Chris. Am I right? I cover family vloggers, mummy vloggers, a lot. And I knew about COLLEEN Ballinger. And then when all of this started up, I was a bit like, oh. I already knew I kind of knew a background story on her, but I never really looked at the Ballinger family vlogs. So I won't lie, there was quite a few of them and I was getting a bit confused. But since covering COLLEEN, I've been asked, how come they're still uploading? And I'll be completely honest, I genuinely don't know. From what I've gathered, her family have basically ridden the coattails ridden the coattails of COLLEEN. And they're not willing to stop uploading. And what I do find quite strange about this whole dynamic is that it's not even the fact that they've even taken a slight break. They are just completely ignoring this whole situation. Their comments are seriously filtered. If you go back and look at any of their previous videos from like a year or so ago, the Ballinger family vlogs had so many more comments, like hundreds of comments, and now they're filtered down to like in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and it's a significant difference. So I can only imagine the amount of filters they have on their comment section, because influencers and YouTubers and things are allowed to do that. You're allowed a little box and you can type in what words you don't want appearing, and YouTube will censor them for you, so that people aren't bullying you, attacking you. Some people misuse it and they'll just put anything, which isn't really hateful, but it's a way of protecting your own mental health, and I do agree with it. The amount of comments and names and words those guys must have in that filter box is off the charts, honestly. I'm not completely sure why they're still continuing to basically just use their kids for content. Now, I've been onto the Ballinger family TikTok, and I mean, they primarily just use one of their kids, and I'm not sure on names, and I don't tend to really mention names on this channel anyway, but if you know, there's one child in particular that really likes dancing. They're dancing and all of that, but yet they're still pushing their kids despite their family name being caught up in this like mass family catastrophe. They're not addressing it. And instead of kind of showing themselves more, I can't help but feel like they're pushing their kids more than they were before this whole shenanigan happened. And I feel utterly awful for these kids who don't realize that they are literally wrapped up in this great big family COLLEEN Ballinger crap train with a red ribbon. Do you know what I mean? They have no idea that this is what is going on, and they won't be able to turn around and say, no, I don't really want to do TikTok dances for you, I don't really want to work for you, I don't really want to do this sponsorship for you right now, because the whole thing is weird. These kids are not old enough to realize that, and I really do think that is pretty despicable. I don't like it when people use their kids in content, the amount of exposure that they use their kids for content. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. And if you know this channel, then you'll know that. The fact that they're still persisting to do this despite there being mass controversy surrounding COLLEEN just boggles my mind.
Oh, I got banned. Oh, I got banned. Oh, I got banned. I'm like, what the heck are these people talking about?
So for instance, over here, I actually found this off the COLLEEN Ballinger Snark Reddit thread. We have people who are saying, please tell COLLEEN she's loved, a bestie she doesn't know she has. And, the Ballinger family channel are hearting these. And in my own head, I can interpret this as them basically going, yes, we accept the fact that you're sending us all love, us united as a family. They probably don't see anything the matter with this. I do think it's weird as hell for people to be commenting this, especially people who actually say that they are like grown adults and they have this like infatuation with COLLEEN. They literally don't see her doing anything wrong at all. And I've always thought this about the Ballinger household, because I have covered them a couple of times, but only related to specific people. I haven't covered their family channel as a whole. But Trent, I covered him with the inappropriate messages that were going around. I covered that. I've got a whole video on it that was up a couple of months ago. I then did a video last year about, I think it was the dad. I think it was one of the older men, and he had an inflation fetish playlist up on his YouTube because they didn't realize that it wasn't set to private. On this, video fetish, there were, either through pregnancy inflation, so recording women with big pregnant bellies, or it was to do with feeder fetishes, which I know everyone has I'm not even going to pretend that I think that is acceptable. I don't think that anything, I don't know, especially feeder fetish. I mean, you are literally watching someone harming themselves, and I just don't, I can't get on board with it. It's not for me, and I don't think it should be for most people. I'm just a little bit like, nah. But that coupled with like Colleen, coupled with the fact that then you then had Trent, like I just feel like there's just some weird, like they don't understand boundaries. Like there's some weird stuff, okay? I'm not the only one who thinks it. I just think it's strange. And it wouldn't surprise me if we find out more stuff about other members of their family. It's just really strange behaviour, to be honest, that I can't quite get my head around from any of them. So last but not least, I thought I would just bring together everything that I found recently, but this is actually pretty fresh to be honest, a pretty fresh tweet. I saw this morning on Josh's Twitter. Joshua David Evans being Colleen's ex-husband. Josh writes, sick of thinking about how her decisions affected my life for so long, sick of thinking about everything Johnny tried to make you believe, sick of feeling like I have to defend myself or that I should just disappear again. Can this be over soon? Not much energy left in my tank. And he's probably feeling a lot of, is the word trepidation? Is that the word I'm thinking of? Why can't I think of words when I want to think of good, solid words? He's probably apprehensive about the interview with Swoop and how Swoop's going to be editing it and how our team's going to be editing it. He's probably just feeling a lot of things, because if you remember, Johnny went into this interview thinking, yes, I got it all down, and then it turns out that he was a lying little liar and he just incriminated himself further. Now, I'm not saying that that is what Josh is going to do. Don't think that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that's going to happen. But Josh must be feeling a little bit like, ooh, like, how is it going to be interpreted? What is it going to sound like? What is it going to look like? Do you know what I mean? And I really do honestly think, despite me being a commentary channel, despite me liking, researching, enjoying this kind of stuff, it's really, really, really easy to forget that these are literally real people. And it can be so easy just to be caught up with, this is what they're saying, this is what they're saying. And it's so easy just to get caught up in it that people, even myself sometimes, you know, you have to take a step back and realize that this is real time. This is what real people are going through. And I think that through every new thing that we find out about this whole situation, you just got to keep that in mind. And I have to tell myself that sometimes, especially when you're covering people online, because you don't know them in person. You can just obviously only see what's going on with what they share. And some people use that for bad ill will, and some people use that for good things. And I don't know, but that's basically all I really wanted to talk about today. I'm really excited for watching Swoop's new documentary. I don't know when it's going to come out. I'm very excited for it. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to watch it whilst doing something like cleaning for like a really long stint. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully I can just watch all of it in one, because if you guys have got, you know, well, full-time job or little kids to look after and stuff, it's really quite difficult, and you want to be able to watch things to the fullest. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.